Okay, we were talking about self-realization fellowship, and that all our masters talk about the same, because today we are also continuing with the reading of a book from Mooji, by Mooji, that is called The Breath of the Absolute. And in this book, he talks about the Advaita tradition. And Advaita tradition, you know that Advaita tradition talks about oneness, and that what does it mean? That we are all one, that we are not, and everything is like what we call the universal consciousness. We are not apart, we are not individuals separated from this. And you know that why I am talking about this now, because if you see what is here, the main goal of this other organization, that is SRF, that was founded by Yogananda, who is another spiritual master. If you see what is the purpose, what is the unity of all true religions. So they all talk about the same, that we are all one, in fact, that there is no separation. Okay, so, and here, what are the main teachings? All religions are expressions of the same universal truth. Well, you read and you realize that all comes to the same thing. Okay, well, we leave this for today and we come back to the book of Mooji that we were seeing last week. And you know that you remember that last week, the first thing we saw, we take some minutes to talk about the title of this book, that is The Breath of the Absolute. And this makes me, and today we have to talk about a text, and the title of this text is, that is from this book, and the title is Advaita, the Pathless Path. And it makes me realize, I began to think about why I always put attention on the titles, because titles are very meaningful. So why? For instance, and the titles of Mooji's books are very creative.
Yes.
And very, I use this word meaningful. What does it mean, this word meaningful? They convey a deep meaning, and there are sometimes 3 or 4 words can say a lot.
A lot.
And do you remember what we talk about, or what we said last week about this title, Breath of the Absolute? That in Spanish, it is translated a bit differently.
Yes.
And do you remember what was the title what is the title in Spanish? Instead of, it is
no, I don't remember.
Latido del Absoluto, instead of Breath of the Absolute. And what does it mean? breath of the absolute. Breath, do you remember that we talk about that breath or heartbeat, that it is latido in English, are what? Signs of life.
Signs of life.
And this is what this means, that breath of the absolute. And what the word breath or latido or heartbeat connects us with life. And this is the true meaning of this title, that the absolute, what is called the absolute, it is not something abstract. O sea, no es algo abstracto el absoluto, it's life. The main, the meaning, the true meaning of absolute is life, because absolute, we also saw that absolute is a synonym of maybe God or awareness or universal consciousness. O sea, es el absoluto engloba todo lo que somos, todo el universo. Nosotros somos parte del absoluto. Cada planta, cada cosa que vemos en el mundo, todo es parte del absoluto. ¿Y qué quiere decir? What does it mean that it is? Why is so connected with life? Porque, and this also, I took some time to reflect on this because it is important. It is connected to what the master says, that they say that life has no opposites. O sea, and that death is not the opposite to life. Death is the opposite of birth. O sea, la muerte, because we can say birth is the opposite of death. And why we say this, that life has no opposites? Because we and everything
are eternal.
We can never be other than life. When we die, our body dies. Our costume that has been given to us to walk a bit through this life. But then we leave this costume and our life goes on in a different form. Entonces, por eso, viste, and there are many ways of saying, there are another way, we can say that life has no opposites. And another way, a scientific way of saying this is, you may also have heard that life is energy. All is energy, that we are all energy.
Yes.
How is the phrase for energy? This energy, que la energía no se pierde, se transforma. ¿Viste que siempre?
Yes.
Entonces, it has to do with this. And this has been scientifically proved. O sea, no es algo que... Eso es lo hermoso que está empezando a suceder desde hace un tiempo, y es que, you know that up to some time ago, there was a clear differentiation between spirituality or God or religion or whatever you want to call it, and logical things and mental things. And we say, well, o sea, había algo como muy, como una puerta que era muy difícil de atravesar, eso de que viste que algunos decían that God is a question of faith, o sea, vos crees o no crees. Y the persons who are very attached to these physical forms, and what happens? You cannot see God, they say. Entonces, si no lo ves, no lo puedes creer. But this science has been helping us to discover that this is true. Esto de que la energía, bueno, o sea, llegan a esto de que en realidad no somos seres finitos por otro camino. Porque si somos energía y la energía no se pierde, sino que se transforma, ¿qué pasa? No vamos a morir y tampoco nunca nacimos. What we really are. Por eso, esa es como el verdadero sentido de esa frase tan simple y tan hermosa que tiene la espiritualidad, que te dice, bueno, ¿para qué hacemos todo esto? Para descubrir quiénes somos en realidad. Y descubrir, to find out who we really are, has to do with this, simply with this. Okay, so that is why this title, Breath of the Absolute, that's why Mooji maybe chose this word, breath, or in Spanish, latido del absoluto, to show this, that the absolute is life, and life has no opposites. Okay, and all this reflection made me think, what is the function of a title? Why we put so much attention in titles? And let's see. A title can. Why are they important? Titles. Because we use title for what? To identify the topic. You can read it if you want.
Yes, identify the topic. It tells the reader what the main subject or theme of the text is.
Yes, sometimes you know that you just see a title and it's very direct. It tells you what comes next. And another function, another type of titles.
Attract attention. It makes the reader interested in reading more.
Yes, they are some titles are. That's why I say sometimes the titles are very creative, because they doesn't tell you plainly what is next.
Yes, a catchy title.
Yes, very good. Attracts attention. A catchy title. Very good. They are. I was going to ask you what is another way of saying attract. Attract attention is to catch. To catch your attention. Catch your attention. And this is a way of saying it using a verb, the verb to catch. But if you want to use an adjective, you can, to describe title, you can say a catchy title. Very good. A catchy title. Very good. So, and another function, maybe there are other types of titles that what they do. The other The other option, set the tone.
Set the tone or mood. It can give a sense of whether the text is serious, humorous, mysterious, etc.
Okay, humorous, mysterious, etc. O sea, etc. They say etc. Okay, it can give you, yes, it's you can guess the style of the text. Okay, or they can use it, they can be what? To
summarize or reflect the main idea.
Okay. Here we have the verb is to summarize, and if you use this word as a noun, you say that they can be, titles can be what? A summary. A summary of the main idea. Summary. A summary. Okay. So, in short, the title, what? What is the function of the title?
Helps the reader understand, anticipate, and connect with the text before. Before reading, I suppose.
Yes. Before reading it.
Reading it.
Here we have. Okay. Yes. So, not all the things at the same time, because sometimes you don't understand what the title says, but it helps you to connect with what is coming next. For instance, this text, this title that is called Advaita, the pathless path. What is the pathless path? It sounds like what? Like something contradictory.
Yes.
Because you know what this suffix less means.
Yeah, the opposite.
Yes, because less means without.
Without. Sí, el camino sin camino.
That's it. That's it. So, and you know, it doesn't tell you anything about what comes next. You don't know what the text is about, but it's what? It's a catchy title, because you want to know more. It attracts your attention, this title. So, well, so we can begin to read and to see, and because and we will discover why what this title means, that what pathless path means. Okay, so we can start reading.
Yes. And what does Advaita means?
Well, Advaita is this tradition, this Hindu philosophy, kind of Hindu philosophy or spiritual teachings, that the core meaning of Advaita is that we are, it is also called the non-dualistic tradition. Dualistic tradition. And that's why we say that the true teaching, or true one of the most revealing words of Advaita is oneness, because it teaches us, Advaita has to do with this main teaching, that we are all one, that we are not separated, that we are not separate individuals, that we as all of us, we are all part of the same essence. They all come from the same source. Como que todos venimos de la misma fuente y que nuestra esencia es la misma. Por eso hay una unidad, and there is a connection between everything. And this sense of being alone or being separate that we have is not real. It's an illusion, and it's made by our ego. But our personal identity that makes us think that we are separated individuals, and that this is the world and this is us. No. Eso es lo que enseña, digamos, esa es como la mayor enseñanza de la Advaita. Y acá y por eso Mooji, you know that the spiritual masters usually had a guru or have a master. Entonces, acá está, in this, the person who is asking Mooji a question about Advaita cites or mentions other gurus. Your own master, the master of, or the guru of Mooji was Papaji. And he said, your own master, Papaji, is often called an Advaita master, because all of them follow the Advaita tradition. Todos hablan. And Sri Ramana Maharshi was the guru of Papaji. Is another spiritual master, and he was the guru of Papaji. And he says, Sri Ramana Maharshi, who is Papaji's guru, is credited by many for having enlightened this ancient non-dual philosophy in modern times, because Advaita is an ancient philosophy. You know that all that comes, why is so important this connection between Eastern and Western that we were talking a bit recently, at the beginning of our class, that Yogananda did this, that to connect, to join, or he took the teachings of the Eastern, of India, China, to the West, porque you know that we are, our calendar is the Roman calendar, and it starts when? With the birth of Christ. O sea, el calendario nuestro, nosotros nos regimos por el calendario romano, que empezó ¿cuándo? Con el nacimiento de Jesús. But the world didn't start, and that's why Chinese people and Eastern people, they talk about, they have another calendar, or Jewish people, viste que los judíos tienen un calendario que empieza como 5.000 años, bueno. And, well, that's why there is a lot of history, and we estamos muy acostumbrados en Occidente a regirnos por lo que pasó desde hace 2000 años para acá, y no tenemos ni idea por ahí, hasta hace un tiempo, de toda esa sabiduría, all this wisdom that comes from before, and that's why Eastern is so important. And it's so important to unite this and to join this, porque es como que viste que Occidente siempre ha sido más consumista y más materialista, and the Eastern has been spiritual. But all is the same. All things are important. It is not that we have to disregard one and turn to the other. The most important thing is to integrate all this. Okay, and Advaita is this, because what does Advaita teach us? That there is not separation between anything. Entonces, esto, y por eso, that's why here it says that Advaita is an ancient non-dual philosophy. O sea, no la inventó ni Mooji, ni Papaji, ni Ramana Maharshi. Viene de mucho antes. Pero, ¿qué pasa? Que Ramana Maharshi fue el que la experimentó, la trajo en los tiempos modernos, digamos, porque Ramana Maharshi, he was a contemporary of Yogananda. He lived in 18 to 1950 something. O sea, vivió entre 1800, a fines de 1800 y pico, hasta 1900. And Yogananda met Ramana Maharshi. Se encontraron o sea, se conocieron personalmente, digamos. Ok. Entonces, this man is asking Mooji, wait, may I ask you then, what is Advaita all about? O sea, le está preguntando qué es el Advaita para él. And I love this because Mooji has a very simple way of and he called it the pathless path. Advaita for him is the pathless path. And why? Let's see why. You can begin reading the part.
Okay. Advaita is about you, about who or what you are. The great appeal of Advaita is that you don't need any religious background. You don't need to believe in anything at all. People from all backgrounds come to Advaita and are welcome. A longing inside the heart to know yourself or to be free of suffering must be there for anyone to realize the truth or what this ancient and practical philosophy is pointing towards.
Okay, this is the main and the important thing and the simple thing about Advaita, that you don't need any technique or any religion or any rules. No, that's why he said, you don't need to believe in anything at all. And this is very important because we are used to associate a religion with that. To know God, we have to do many things, or there are rules to know God. That's in Catholic tradition, for instance, that to know God, you have to go to Mass, or you have to go to church. No, Advaita has no rules. Okay, and he says, people from all backgrounds come to Advaita and are welcome. Son bienvenidos todos. And what is needed to know Advaita? What is needed? A longing. What is a longing? A longing is the same as a deep wish. A longing es un anhelo profundo. Eso quiere decir. A longing inside the heart. Eso es una palabra que Mooji usa mucho, que es longing. Espera que vamos a escribirlo por acá. A ver si acá. No. Ok. We can. Después lo acomodo yo. Entonces, longing is the same as a deep desire. This is a very spiritual word that because or longing, or the verb is to long for something. And I love to long for something. I love because we in everyday language, we are used to see long as an adjective. Long is what? Is the opposite of short.
Short.
Yes. But here, use it as a verb. It has a very different meaning. To long for something is to wish, to have a deep wish for something, a deep desire. Wish or desire. Okay. So he says, a longing inside the heart to know yourself or to be free of suffering must be there for anyone to realize the truth of what this ancient and practical philosophy is pointing towards. To point towards. ¿A qué nos dirige? ¿A dónde nos lleva esto? Entonces, we are going to read, this is a brief introduction, but it's very simple. And then we are going to stop for today. But what another thing is said here? Advaita?
Advaita is direct in that it points to the truth immediately, from the very first moment. First, it points out that you are complete as you are. Then it begins to guide you out of suffering.
Okay. It points out. To point out. Point out is to show you. Quiere decir, in Spanish we say señalar, te señala. That's why pointing. Viste que muchas veces decimos que the spiritual masters don't talk about teachings. They talk about pointings.
Yes.
And pointings se puede traducir como señalamientos o indicaciones. Porque in fact, their message or what they say is a pointing to here, to the truth that is already within us. Es como que nos dirigen hacia algo que nosotros ya sabemos y que ya somos. No es algo nuevo que nos vienen a enseñar. And this new, this something that we already are, or that is not new, is something as simple as that we are complete as we are. And what is the true meaning of this? And or the powerful thing about Advaita, that it is a guide not to understand this mentally. It's a guide to experience this. And how can we experience this? That we are complete as we are. Just by having the intention of not engaging or not giving our energy to the thoughts. And if we just focus on our sense of being, which is nothing more than this sense that we can experience when we we take a minute to be silent, to be with us, not engaging with what our voice the voice in our head is telling us, we can immediately feel this presence, this just that, and it begins to happen something, we begin to experience something that we cannot describe with words. And that's why I wanted that today we finish here, because this we can kind of tool that we can use to feel this is the just be exercise of Mooji. So we can today, now we can do this, a bit of the just be exercise of Mooji to finish this beautiful meeting and to experience what we've been talking about. Okay. And this is in total alignment with what we've been talking about, because we've been reading that we don't have to do anything, just be. That Advaita has no technique, so nothing. And this is what Mooji explains in this exercise. We are going to do only the first minutes, but you will see that it is enough. And then I will share the link of this video with you and in the group, so you can, if you want, you can start practicing by your own. Okay, let's start a bit with this. I will share them. Okay.
Come and go. All states come and go. Notice awareness itself unmoving. For those who are present who are not used to this, we simply exercise most beautiful, profoundly impactful exercise in introducing or pulling us out of the chaos of the mental noise of personhood into the purity of being. We have the attitude of leaving everything and to keep the attention only in the sense, the natural sense that you exist, that you are here. No shape to that, just here, the sense of here-ness, and to make a conscious choice not to engage or to be pulled into your mind stream, to just be aware of it, don't fight it, but stay empty consciously. We'll start with that. I'll give some guidance along the way. If you hear this sound, it's just, it means all just what I've said. Drop everything. Stay empty. Thank you. We do 7 minutes. Om. Om. Now all the conversations, questions and answers are finished. Leave all that. Don't be holding on to anything now, The natural sense of being is not a thought process. Just the natural sense of being. Stay here. Conscious. The mind energy will come, of course, but don't engage with that. That is a key to not be pulled into the mind stream. Don't log into its energy. Be aware of it, but be aware that you are aware. That's it. Stay with this. Oh. From the mind will suggest certain images or thoughts. Don't get, you must will that to stay only empty. Like an empty room in which things come and go, but the room is not disturbed. Om. Clear. For some of you, images will come. Don't fight. Stay like empty screen. Images may come from mind, sound, thought, but let them move by themselves. You are the awareness, edgeless, formless presence. You may feel the feeling to go to sleep, but it's not true sleep. It's a kind of avoidance from mind, so reject that. Try to stay only empty, but conscious. Choose this. There are no images of being. So even if I say like clear space, mind will want to give a subtle image of space. Beingness is natural for you. Remain empty. Do not be attracted to either pleasure or pain. shape, only awareness. Feel the mind. Do not engage. Clear. Do not go into any state. Stateless awareness. Even if pleasant sensations or pictures come, reject them. No memories. No desires. Only aware. For some it may feel very difficult to do this, but grace is with you today, supporting this. This bringing mind back to its source. No journeys, no strategies, only stay awake, aware. No pictures, no scenarios. Oh.
Well, you know that it is a very simple practice, but it's very powerful. And that is the pathless path. That we can experience really, that we don't need any techniques and many things to begin to experience what we really are. But we have to have this intention, simple intentions to devote just a few minutes to this, at least every day. And we begin to experience that our relationship with life begins to change. Okay, my friend. We have to finish now, but we have a very beautiful class. And well, thank you for sharing, for being here. And have a nice weekend. Don't forget about this. And see you. See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You.
Nice weekend.
Thanks for being together and for sharing. It's very beautiful. Bye.
Thank you for being here.